Palantir has recently joined the S&P 500, leading a significant surge in its stock price. What advantages does Palantir bring to the index, and what's the potential risk for investors considering this company?
Palantir is an incredibly controversial company. I think Peter is probably one of the smartest people in Silicon Valley ever. I think Alex is a great CEO. The downsides of it is the surveillance state, policing, immigration. That can be very tricky. But the upside is the innovation that it does bring. I know a lot of people have been asking about this, and I know they've had a tremendous run. But people act as if Palantir is Nvidia, and it's not. If it gets back down to $34 or $32, I would love to enter there. But I definitely believe like this is more of a principle-based investment. So like if you don't care about how the technology could be used to police us and police people and immigration concerns, have at it. But just ethically, it's kind of hard for me to put my all behind that company, being African American in this country. But I do think there's a lot of innovation there, and given the political landscape and as things heat up, the company definitely does have some value. But I think you have to make a moral decision on if you want to invest there or not. And to be very clear, every Fortune 500 company has some ills with it, especially once you get in the top 10. So you can make the argument for Apple and Nike and Tesla. They all have done some harm, but it's kind of hard to want to invest in this company, being a African American that was born in this country.
The moral investing. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Just performance wise, over the past month, it's been up 18%. On the last week, I would see since it was announced it's going to the S&P, it saw a jump. Year to date, it's up 127%, and over the last 2 years, it's up 400%. So we saw when it IPO'd, we saw it pull back in 2022, but since that point, again, up 400%. This is one of those things, man. And we had the opportunity in Davos to sit inside of Palantir's little headquarters that they had set up, heard some of the things that they're doing in terms of security. They were recently awarded a $100 million contract with the U.S. Army to streamline AI infrastructure capabilities. And so that contract, their system, the Maven Smart system, gives them access to the Army, the Air Force, Space Force, Navy, and the U.S. Marines. So under that deal, Palantir's platform would support AI battle space awareness, global integration, force management, logistics, joint fires, and targeting workflows. Sounds like a defense system that's for the United States Army. And so if you think, obviously there's a moral side, but if you're talking about companies that you don't see going anywhere,
they'll be around for a long time.
If the United States government or the United States armed defense system is using them for all these areas, you can see that this is going to be a longevity play. And they're just getting started. They're just getting started. But yeah, there is that part of it. It started out as, hey, we're going to use this for counterterrorism. And you can obviously see it has grown into something much more than that.
Much more robust.
It starts there, and then it turns into a personal surveillance situation. And then we'll have a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. So everyone who keeps asking about Northrop Grumman and all, I'm like, I get you, but Palantir is eating that lunch. When Anduril goes public, going to eat a lot of lunch in that space. So, it's just a moral thing, but you can't argue with the returns. And you can't argue with Peter's insight as well. Him and Sam are very similar, that they invested in companies and played the background for a long time while they built the empire they wanted to deploy. And it's interesting enough that it's both based around software to be able to help governments and countries at scale.
Right. Yeah. How do you stop them from implementing the software in other countries? Or do you?
You don't. We're in a global market. As long as they serve our allies, they'll be fine. But what I'm seeing with Palantir, they're making a moat to have advanced weapon technology systems in play. And as long as we're weaponizing, no pun intended, our allies, they'll be great. Going back to that whale client philosophy that OpenAI is following, would you rather have, and I know people get on me about pricing, but would you rather have 7 or 8 clients that pay you $2 billion each, or would you rather have 30,000 clients that's paying you $15 million? Much better to get the whale. So if they only serve 4 or 5 governments, and it's at $8 billion a pop. Not a bad business model. Not a bad business model.
Yeah.
But question for everyone: are you going to invest in Palantir if you are black and or brown?
Black CEO.
Yes, shout out to him.
Yeah.
Shout out to my guy. Great CEO too, by the way.
Yeah.
Real quick, you gotta
power fist.
have to. Black Lives Matter.